Got him. Threw him the slider, and it was wicked. Yeah, hitting down the left field line. Fair ball, kicked up some chalk. Harper steaming around third, heading for home. He'll score.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Phillies Post Game Live. Guys, if you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe button. We're breaking down our top takeaways of this game. The Phillies get the L in a frustrating game, 4-1 here. They take the series over the Oakland Athletics, 2-1. Joining me, my guy, Joe Ettinger from the Painted Lines, at Joe_Ettinger. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up? That was unwatchable.
Yeah, if anybody's watching us live, you deserve a lot of...
You're a sicko, and I love you. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, this was a tough game. This was a tough game to watch. Seems like every single break went on the side of the Oakland Athletics. There's a lot to kind of deep dive into, especially after like the first two games. Just a ton of positives. It kind of felt like the Phillies were, preparing for the Mets series. That's what it felt like here. What's one of your takeaways from this game?
It's just that, I mean, that was a brutal day for the offense, even though, yeah, it's granted not great hitting conditions, but you'd think maybe tone back to the ball go boom for like a couple minutes and try and do some small ball, but they're not necessarily built for that. And I totally get that's not how you win games in Major League Baseball nowadays, but just look at how the A's scored a run, a lawn dart in the left field. The Phillies hit 4 balls over 100 miles an hour up to that point, all for lineouts. And, when the umpire's calling strikes in the opposing batter's box, you have to start swinging at everything, which also affects the game. Whether, you never want to blame the umpire, but it does affect the game.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the Phillies did have like 2 hits for the majority of this game.
Yeah,
they really it was a bunt. It was an awful performance, awful game plan from this offense. I hate complaining about the umps, but my God, they were so inconsistent in this game. There was a good section of this game where the Phillies hitters had no idea what they were looking at.
And it went both ways. Brogdon struck someone out on a pitch that almost hit him. And the thing that bothers me the most, and here I go, players have to stand at a microphone with a camera shoved in their face after the game to explain, hey, why did you strike out? Why did all this? The umpire gets to hide behind a statement that the league issues, and they never have to answer for anything. That doesn't seem fair.
Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough to watch, especially considering, like you said, like the Phillies were connecting with the ball, especially early on. They were just hitting it right at guys, especially Bryce Harper. And then you see these Oakland Athletics, blue pit. Like, it's just a frustrating game from beginning to end, even including Girardi. It was a tough game. Should we be like overreacting, or is it just one game? Even the best offenses have one bad game. Should we overreact, or should we just be like, hey, you've got a huge series against the Mets coming up. Ranger Suarez, it's going to be a really fun series. What's your take?
Well, clearly they're never going to hit again, and they're going to be a bottom 5 offense.
Exactly.
But yeah,
the season, it's over.
Yeah, what is 2 in 160? They're never winning again. But no, for real. I mean, it's going to happen with the best offenses. You really wish it wouldn't happen against a team like the A's, who are barely even trying to field a team. But it's going to happen, and especially you look at today, they weren't starting JT. Stott sat yesterday, came back in. Bohm looked great yesterday, and he didn't play today. It just happens. You just got to get over it and just come back out and try and do better. Like you said, they're hitting the ball well. They're just not finding the right spots. So I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah. There's a fine line, right? There's a fine line when you have this much invested offensively for this squad. I agree. Even the best offenses are going to have some bad days here. It's a frustrating loss, but
I think it would have been more concerning.
It's not that good. Your pitching is not that good to go up against
100%.
the Oakland Athletics and put up almost a goose egg offensively. You've got to be better.
I think it would have been more concerning if this was a recurring theme through the entire series. The fact that they hit well the first 2 games, and today was just one of those days, especially with, like I said, the conditions with almost everything going into the wind, and you never know what the hell it's going to do when it goes into wind. So the Mets will be a much more of a litmus test for early in the year.
We're just reacting to this, but what was your thoughts on like Girardi's game plan here? It seemed like they were like a lot of first pitch swinging. You know, they were attacking early on in the counts with runners in scoring position. What was your take on that? Was that more of the umps, or was that more of just this game plan?
Well, I know Jeffries has to get ahead early, and he throws a lot of fastballs, and Kevin Long's philosophy is to hunt the fastballs. So they probably went up hunting fastballs early, but at a certain point, you got to look up when the guy's got 33 pitches in the 5th inning and go, wait a minute, maybe we should start taking some pitches, regardless of what the umpire's doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So let's jump into Zac Evelyn. You look at his performance: 4 innings, 0 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks. Let's kind of go over what we saw. I mean, from the jump, the ump was not giving Evelyn any love to start, especially with balls low in the zone. You saw him work out of the first inning with a walk and 20 pitches. He mowed down the guys in the 2nd inning, 1, 2, 3. And things were pretty positive. You had a bases loaded situation in the 3rd inning with no outs. Evelyn caught a liner right at him and completed the double play, and then he forced a pop up. He got out of a jam there with no runs, no damage, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4th inning. It kind of stunk to see him get pulled, but I guess he's got an early pitch count. His pitch count was a little up there. What was your take on Evelyn today?
No, I liked what I saw from Evelyn today, especially because, for him to succeed, he needs that sinker down in the zone. And he was throwing it there, but he wasn't getting the calls, which, again, it happens. And he worked around it. I mean, he might have got a little lucky with the line drive right back at him for the double plays, but he still made the play, so that counts for something. And it's a good start for a contract year. I mean, this is the last – he'll be a free agent at the end of the year. And there's a decent argument that they should look to extend him now before he has a nice season. But the risk there is the big bugaboo with Evelyn has been he gets hurt and his knees. It's especially for a starting pitcher, if the knees are a big question mark. So if he can show that he can be healthy, then he could be a very good back of the rotation, mid-ish rotation starter.
That's everything. Like, if Evelyn can stay healthy, if Nolan can keep those home run balls down to a minimum, Phillies will be sitting pretty for sure.
Even I'm not even asking for Cy Young runner-up Nola. I'll take 3.50 ERA Nola at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Just more ground balls. Let's roll on to who did you have a player of the game in this one? I do have one.
Yeah, who you got?
I got that kid, man. The kid behind the dugout was doing every single time. That kid was jacked up, man. I love seeing the energy.
I need some gifs of that. That was incredible. I mean, I guess you can go Segura. I mean, played some good defense, had the home run. Bailey Falter looked good until he didn't, which was a theme of last year. The fastball velocity was still a tad low. Instead of the 94 he showed pre-COVID last year, it was still 92. And I still don't know what to make of him yet, because he'll come in, he'll look, it's like, oh, he's getting outs, but he's not doing it in an impressive manner. So, I mean, he's a solid depth pitcher, but I'd like to see, like I said, that velocity tick up a little bit to really know what you're looking at.
Yeah. Let's just move on to quick grades for this series overall. Who was your standout star, and how would you grade F to A this series with the Oakland Athletics?
I'd probably give it a solid B+. I mean, the first 2 games are what you expected. You only had a bad taste in your mouth after the first game because Nola probably went a little longer than he should have because, like I said, we're still post-lockout. Some guys aren't stretched out yet. So the pitch counts are a little lower than what you would expect. So he probably went a tad longer than he should have, and hence the 7th inning, he looked pretty gassed. But that game went well. Even yesterday, they still hit well. Kyle Gibson was fantastic. So if I had to pick one, I would say either Kyle Gibson or Kyle Schwarber. We'll pick both Kyles. Why not? Schwarber has looked as advertised out of the leadoff spot. He got some tough pitches called against him today, but he's put up a great at-bat almost every time he's gone up there. He had the leadoff homer, and he's going to do wonders. He's going to make that ballpark look so small this season.
Yeah. I'm throwing this game out, man. I'm throwing this game out. I liked what I saw in the first 2 games, especially Kyle Gibson, man, who was absolutely phenomenal in game 2. I think a B+ is fair. I think a B+ is really fair. The offense is real. I love the way the Phillies have been approaching the ball. I love the way they're seeing the ball, other than today. But even then they were raking it, just hitting the ball right at the Athletics play. It was just.
I can't really even say they were swinging at bad pitches. They were swinging at good pitches, and they were just having some hard luck outs.
Yeah, and then it became, between the ears, it became a mental game.
Yeah.
More so between the umps and the Phillies.
Yeah.
Hitters, because the Phillies had no idea. They were chasing, they were swinging at wild pitches. Like, they had no idea what was a strike. The strike zone went from here to here, seemingly within an inning.
Evelyn couldn't get balls called, and then the next inning we're calling strikes in the opposing batter's box. It happens.
All right. Let's wrap it up. Do you have any one takeaway from the series, and where can we find you, man?
My one takeaway would be, like you said, the offense is going to be fine. Don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. They're going to hit this year. I think another good takeaway is Corey Knebel looked pretty good in his two close times he came in to close, especially when he had some defensive problems behind him, which again is going to happen with this team. You just have to live with it. But I think Corey Knebel looked good. If he stays healthy, they might hopefully have the 9th inning solved for once in the last decade. And yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Joe_Ettinger. I'll have at least 2 articles a week during baseball season. I do a stock report, I do an NL East report, and other features along the way.
Love it. And on Fridays, I'll be dropping a Stars of the Week, top 3 Stars of the Week Phillies video every single Friday. Just to wrap up who is kind of trending in the right direction, kind of like hockey style. It'll be a lot of fun with video highlights and all that kind of fun stuff. Follow my man on Twitter at Joe_Ettinger. I am Dives, Mr. Crockpot. Stay awesome, everyone.